If you've been interested, you've been seeing some of the videos I put up about the Mark 7 motor drive for the 1050. You've seen some of the videos they've put out. Those are nice, professionally done. You don't have to listen to me drone on. There's a little music in the back. It's great. But it's very high level. Let's get real. Everybody around that I know that shoots, we're broke. I mean, honestly, guys, I can't even afford pants. If it wasn't for shop shirts and match t-shirts, I would have no clothes at all. Let's not even get started about underwear. If anybody in the shooting sports makes underwear, please sponsor me. It would be great. Why is this machine worth the money? Let's start with the technology. It's cooler now shit. I mean, you know, we're shooters. We probably don't stand in line at the Apple store when they release the latest new thing. But we do appreciate technology, you know, especially if it's simple. I mean, half of us forget to turn the dots on we forget to turn our red dots on, okay? If it's ever so slightly more complicated than fiber optic sites, we have a hard time working them. But the technology is very cool. Let's add in the fact that your buddy probably doesn't have one now. There's a 6 month to a year waiting period for these. Okay, if you're a production loader, a boutique loader, or a, heaven forbid, a brand name that uses a 1050, this is phenomenal. You can now have one guy overseeing 3 to 5 machines as opposed to 3 to 5 guys. And yeah, I mean, you know, I know that everybody's trying to create jobs in America. How about creating profitability in America where we could afford to hire somebody to do something of real value as opposed to stand there and jerk a lever all damn day? Okay, what this machine will do that a Posnus Warren nor a Force machine will do is it will load unprocessed brass. And it will not do it simply because it is overcoming. I can take a Posnus Warren and eliminate the slip in the clutch, and it will plow right through everything. I could have 380s loaded to 9mm. I could have 40s loaded with 45 bullets. I can, you know, but it's bullshit. It's wrong, okay? Every single one of these machines, Posnus Warren, Force, and I believe there's one other out there, and I'm not downing them. They are good at what they do, but they are quote unquote dumb machines. There is no thought process. Force motor or Posnus Warren, here's the thought process. On, off. It is going to continue to go from point A to point B. When it jams, that is the right word, jam. When it finally overcomes that jam, all hell breaks loose. If you have a jam on a Posnus Warren, you cannot reverse it. I have not yet, well, actually, I lied. You can reverse it with the switch. You can reverse it. But the jog, backing the plate up is dink, dink, dink. Hopefully you can back it up correctly. 9 times out of 10, when it jams, Jesus Christ, I've used a screwdriver and a hammer to get a case out when I was running this machine, okay? Now, if you have processed brass or you're running brand new Starline, it works. If you're not, it does not. So, in order to use this motor, which is going to be $900 to $1,100, depending on whatever, I don't know the current cost anymore, you're going to need to process your brass. You're going to have a Case Pro. Case Pro is a phenomenal device. But here's the deal. We're going to load 1,000 rounds. So we select 1,000 pieces of brass. We throw them in the tumbler. We throw them in the pin wash. We do whatever we do with them. Okay? We get them nice and pretty. Okay? And then we bring them over to here and we pull this lever 1,000 times. You know, it's bolted to the table. We get the dies, boom, boom, boom. You can motorize this. You can put a Posnus Warren on it, but it really doesn't work. You can send it back to Case Pro, and they'll motorize it for another $950, which is a good price. Okay, that's reasonable. But traditionally, you're sitting here, you're pulling this. It's like, oh my God, you know, don't we have people that sneak across the border that can do this stuff? I'm sorry. I'm from Arizona. My sensibilities are a little different. Okay, so now we have 1,000 pieces of processed, cleaned, one step, processed, second step. Now we go over, we load them up, and we run them through our motorized 1050. Or heaven forbid, we pull the lever on this, we go over and we have an unmotorized 1050. We pull the lever. You've just pulled the lever 2,000 times. Okay? The Mark 7 eliminates all this. I have a Mark 7 motor on a Dillon 1050. I'm running crappy, world's crappiest brass. Okay? I've got shit here you wouldn't reload. Federal NT. Who the hell? Spear, GRP, I don't even know who that is. I really don't care. RP, Remington Peters, Winchester. I've got non-toxic. I've got incredibly toxic. You're going to die just from the smell of the brass, not to mention the crap coming out of it. Okay? Running through a Dillon 1050 with the Lee undersized die bought from EGW, and we may have taken it apart and run it on a Bridgeport and taken off even more of it. Okay, traditionally, the Posness Warren just comes to a stop when you run into an undersized die on regular unprocessed brass. It wouldn't work on 38 Super. It wouldn't work on 9. It wouldn't work on 40. Traditionally, 40. All the videos you're going to see that have got my fat ass and my obnoxious voice in them are run on 40. 40 is the hardest brass to run through a motorized machine. Why? 2 words, Glock hump. I have a Glock hump. Apparently, I've been shot through a Glock. Now, Case Pro will remove that. So will an undersized Lee undersized die. Anybody that says it won't doesn't have theirs adjusted correctly. We have plowed through thousands and thousands and thousands of rounds. The only thing we have done is we have dropped them in the tumbler and we've made them acceptably pretty. We've dropped them in the case feeder after spraying them with Hornady one shot. Okay? So, here's your deal. If you want to roll size your brass, this option is available to you. If you want to touch it numerous times, this option is available to you. This has its place. But right now, honestly, boys and girls, if you're running a production shop or a boutique load, you need Mark 7s. If you've got 3 1050s on a bench, which I have, conceivably I have a 650, and right now I have a 650 and 2 1050s on one bench. If I had 3 of these motors, Jay, if you're listening, if I had 3 of these motors, I would need one guy to run all 3 of the machines, okay? Producing, you know, somewhere between 13 and 1,500 rounds an hour. As a setting, it goes to 1,800. I have to modify my plates a little bit to make that accurately work for 40, from what I've seen. 9, it may be flawless. Anyway, this is why the Mark 7 is worth the money. Number 1, the technology is cool as hell. Number 2, your buddy ain't got one. Think about it. Invite everybody over for a beer and they'll stand around and watch the machine run for hours on end. It's kind of like the Tom Sawyer thing. You can get somebody else to load your ammo for you. Okay? Number 3, it eliminates processing your brass. Okay? It eliminates it. It eliminates the cost of having to go buy a brand new Starline because you motorized your drive. And guys at Starline, please don't call me bitching and whining. There's still guys out there that will not bend over and pick their brass up. So they're not hurting your business in any way, shape, or form. But anyway, we're almost coming up on the 10-minute mark and I'm rambling. But the bottom line is this. The Mark 7 is probably one of the coolest devices I've seen in a long time. If you can justify spending the money, cool factor alone, buy it. It's a good machine. Very good machine. We'll load everything from, I think if we could figure out how to prime 22, it'll load 22 all the way up to What's the biggest caliber you can load on a Dillon 1050? All the way up to that. And it's, trust me, it is so boring watching it run. It's that reliable.